Alrighty, it's about to get snorkely up in here as soon as this focuses. Alright, this right here is the Chinese ripoff version of an ARB Safari Snorkel. And it's pretty decent, you know, 110 bucks shipped to my door compared to a price of basically 4 times that for something that's about the same. You know, it's a plastic tube. What do you want? You got your 4 mounting holes on the back. You got your entry tube, sits at a 90-degree angle. Here's your filter head, sits on the top. And then this is the part that attaches to your Airbox. It's got this little funky thing in there, but I'm going to silicone it anyway. You got a big long flexi tube. It does come with all the hardware, which is cool. So you got your L bracket in there. You have all your hose clamps, any washers, bolts, nuts, anything you might need, including the pop rivets. So you don't have to buy pop rivets. You just need a pop rivet gun. And then your very poorly matched template. I think the templates are good, but the problem is whoever drills these out aren't, because they're not exactly straight. If you notice, these ones go this way, and these ones kind of go more this way. So when you actually align the this thing, it's not lined up correctly, because you try to line these up and they just don't fit, and the other ones are way off. So you're going to want to recut your template beforehand. But that's everything that comes in the kit. Now, things you're going to need. You're going to need some black silicone. You're going to need a 3-inch. You're going to need a 3-inch drill bit, a 4-inch drill bit, which I forgot to get, and a pop rivet gun. The 4 inches for this tube, the 3 inches for that one. Hopefully it doesn't have to be like 3 1/4, 3 1/2. Because it is a bit of a tight fit. We'll see. So, it's going to look something like that. I think. Hope. It's about where it sits underneath the tire. Because it has there is a body contour right there that it follows on the fender. So, it is kind of limited to where it sits because of that. But, this template is supposed to fit on the Jeep, and I think it will. The way you line this up, it marks it. You got the top of the fender here, and then the curve of the fender at the back there. So that's how it's supposed to line up. But that doesn't mean that the holes line up. And especially that one, I really want to make sure that that hole's lined up, because you don't want to fuck up a 3-inch hole in the side of your fender. That wouldn't be pretty. So what I'm going to do is put this template up against the snorkel and really get that to match there good. I might even cut out the circle properly so that this template really fits on there, and then tape it back on. So let's make sure that template first. It even says on here, template is a guide only. Then it comes with instructions, if you'd like to call it that. So, you know, pretty simple. So, I'm going to get the extra tools I need and make sure this fits first. Alright, after setting up this thing, the template correctly, I bent it to the contour of the fender right here. So, it's bent to match that properly. The bottom, where this comes out and goes back to flat, that should line up with the bottom of this. So that lines up correctly. I cut out the hole, I test fitted it, I held the bracket up there to make sure it sits against the A-pillar properly. So, here are the holes and how they need to be properly cut, because they're off by like a lot. So I'm going to cut those. I might put some masking tape or something and cut them out into more circular shapes. But after that, we can tape the bracket, or the template. It does match with the fender lines, which is a good thing. So I can fit that on the way it is. It just needs the holes to be realigned and everything like that. So that's where we're at. Alright, there we go. Everything is masked up and ready to go. I can't really bend the thing and get it to hold down, so I just have to hold it for the most part. But I got masking tape over everything. If you notice, I fixed the holes so that they're more accurate to the unit that I got. So, lined up with the top of the fender nice, lined up with this edge right. I got this crease, just barely sits there. So, time to drill. Take your punch, put a hole. That'll keep the drill bit from walking around. There we go. Hopefully this is strong enough. Here goes nothing. Jeez. There you go. Cool. Hot. Ow, that's very hot. Holy crap. Well, shit. Yeah, you definitely want something a little longer, or a little bigger than 3 inches. Fuck. Alright, so here we go. That's our fitment so far. Another thing, the snorkel isn't exactly straight, so it sticks out on this side and on the other side. So like when you try to lay it flat in one direction, it bends it the other way. So yeah, either the fender's gonna have to bend a little to match it, or I'm just gonna have to live with a little gap. But hopefully this will sit away from the A-pillar just a little bit. I didn't drill the other holes yet, which is good, because I want to make sure that this sits upwards a little bit so that the door can open properly. You don't want this resting on the mirror. You want a nice little gap there so that bracket fits and everything. Also, when I said a 3-inch hole, you might need something a little bigger. Because yeah, the tube diameter is a little under 3 inches, but the snorkel's got a pivot in. So I had to cut this out a little bit and file it down. So you might want, 3 1/4, maybe even 3 1/2. Sure, it'll fit, but then it's got a pivot. So you can see how at this point, this is a lot wider than that. So just realize that, and then later on there'll be a nice little gap in there. So just something to think about. Alright, here's all the little goodies in the bag. So, we have 4 pop rivets, which are going to be for your A-pillar bracket. You got 4 pop rivets and 3 bolt holes for these bolts, or little screws, washers and stuff. For the main snorkel, you have 4 washers, 4 studs, that have an Allen head in one side, so you can tighten them down. You got your 4 nuts. This is going to be for your snorkel ram head thing. It's painted black, which actually I think is very nice. You got your 2 regular clamps that are going to be for holding the hose to the snorkel. And then this is the goofy little bracket that they give you that's supposed to hold their Airbox adapter in. You would put this over the screw and then tighten it down with this wing nut. Alright, more test fitting procedures. So I got some tape up here, and this marks where the bracket, that's where I want the bracket to sit. So with the bracket screwed in to the snorkel, I put 2 studs in, put the snorkel in the hole, and then I put some more tape because I noticed the way that I want the snorkel to be rotated up a little bit, and I think towards the front. So I put some tape higher, and that's where my new marks hit. So even with the template attached the way it is, I kind of want it a little differently. So this is why you drill the big hole and then drill the small holes. So that should fit a little better. And if you're off by a little bit, they include some big ass washers, so you can be a little bit out of spec. Cool. Okay, after all said and done, you'll probably end up stepping up to about a 3/8 inch bit just to take up some of the slack here and there, but she's in there for the most part. Hopefully when I tighten it down, it'll suck it to the body a little better, because this thing is just like, it doesn't match the contour at all. It's retarded. It bends in the middle. That's what you get for cheap products though, so if you want an easy fitment, you might want to pay the little extra money. But oh well, it's a Jeep, baby. So I put tape on the A-pillar. After fitting your snorkel against the body, screw this bracket down to your snorkel, and then line it up and move the snorkel to where you want it. So this is where I wanted it to sit. So I took a pencil and drew the outside line of the bracket, and then you take the bracket off, take the snorkel off, then hold the bracket up where you drew the line to drill the center holes, because you can't reach them while the snorkel's on. After that, punch them and drill them. Now if you look, fit in nicely. Cool. Gonna take some nail polish and just paint around the metal that you exposed, so that you might help save its life for a little longer. That's just to cover up the bare metal and prevent rust. Alright, get your dabs RTV, take your bracket, stick it on there, put your pop rivets in there. Alright, there you go. After a lot of annoying pop riveting, it's on there good. And you notice the black RTV around the sides. So, no water intrusion either. Cool. After a lot of cursing, and pulling, and cutting, and prying, and fucking, this fender cover can come off. Fucking piece of shit. God, there's all these stupid little black things that you gotta cut out because you probably can't pull out or they get destroyed, so you're gonna need new ones if you plan on putting your fender covers back up. And they're just bowl of fun. Anyway, so if you'll notice now, bowl holes will now be access. You just come on over here, and there you go, man. There's your bowl holes, and you come all the way over there. Damn, son, there's your bolt holes. So that's how you get to them. Now you can put the motherfucker on. Also, you'll need this down so you can access, so you can get your tube across and cut your hole over there. It's now time to remove the airbox and work on that. So, what this mod's going to entail is cutting up the snout right there. That whole front piece of the airbox is going to be cut off, and the new bracket will be attached. So it's going to be like an L bracket looking thing that'll loop down, and then the hose will go into this body panel right here. So you'll need, I think, a 4-inch hole saw for that. I got to go pick that up. Ta-da! Alright, here we go. Siliconed up. Got a nice thick bead on the outside, all the way around. Got a nice bead on the inside as well. Got that bracket on there to hold everything together. Your things, you know, they're tightened down, the studs. Just pop a little Allen key in there to tighten them down a little more. Use thread sealant. Alright, now on to the washers and nuts. You're going to put a washer and a nut on the backs of these. Again, in order to get to that, you need to drop down this fender well, or if you don't have one, well, don't fucking worry about it. Put on your hose clamp for this rubber hose, run it up over this fender support, and the rest of it's just kind of floating in there. So that'll come out to this hole over here. So I'm just going to leave that chilling for now. So now we're going to put this in there and, you know, screw away. I'd recommend tightening these bolts down first before you do anything, because mine didn't line up at first. Like, the snorkel was sitting out a little bit, so I had to tighten those down to get it to really suck up into the A-frame, A-pillar. And then I tightened these ones a little bit, and then tightened these all the way down, then finished up and tightened these. This top one over here is a pain in the ass to get to. There is very little room, so I turned the wheel, and you can kind of work your arm in there. It takes a while. If you have one of these ratcheting wrenches, I definitely recommend it, because a socket wrench is not going to fit up there to get that last top bolt. There's not a whole lot of room up there, but they're in there. They are in there. So, now connect your tube, and you can move on down the line and put this fender back up. Alright, so this is the new setup. We're going to go 90 degrees, baby. If you notice, I cut out a little piece right there from the leftover scrap that was on this side. I turned it sideways and cut it to fit the contours of the tube. She fits in there nice. And down here, you'll notice that I cut slots into there so that first off, it's not resting on the new piece I put in, so it's got grip, and it can still kind of function the way it was meant to function for the most part. So now we're going to try sealing this thing up again, and hopefully this will be a little more secure than the first try. Alright, here we are, next day. Silicone is dry, very tight. I like the way that this turned out quite a lot. Much better than the original design, a lot stronger, and it actually fucking fits. So, we're gonna drop this bitch in. This would be a good time for a new air filter, but I can't find the one that I want. I want a nice Canon one, but I'll have to order it or something. Alright, there you go. That'll do it. I think it fits pretty nicely. The rubber just barely touches the wall here, but it's fine. If you're trying to figure out where to cut that hole, the farther left you can cut it, the better, I guess. But yeah, it fits nicely. There's a nice gap there now. Before, like, that thing was up against this and it was not working out. So I'm much more happy with the design I chose. So, there you go. If you want to see the tube. That's where that sits up there. To get a better view, it would be up here, coming down into there. So it sits all underneath that. Oh yay! Sweetity sweet. Fits in there nice. Got my fan clip back in there. I just put a little screw and a little hose to cap off that piece, because that used to go to the vacuum actuator thing that never worked anyway. So whoop, there it is. Got my fender cover back on, It's a Jeep again, baby. Woo! Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, when you're sitting all inside the Jeep at a normal driver view, you can't even barely see the snorkel. So it doesn't block any more of that lovely A-pillar. Come over here. Oh yeah. Look at that. And you can always see the little head, so you know if it's coming off when you're on the highway. Make sure that's fucking tight, or that will come off on the highway, from what I've heard. So, let's listen. Hello? Ooh, listen to it. You can hear it suck. Can you hear it suck, Mr. Krabs? Nice. There you have it. That's your Chinese snorkel. Hope you enjoy. I'm sure I will.